Can you give us examples, maybe one or two examples, of where companies sort of almost fall foul and don't think about the customers enough, or where they should? Perhaps maybe the industry, and an example of where that typically happens, and maybe some of the solutions that you then help them with.
Yeah, well, I think you see it quite often. So there's one company we worked with, which really focused. Actually, the whole energy industry at the moment is a good example. We're trying to get smart meters onto people's walls. You know, smart meters are a great technology. They'll make it much easier for customers. It's a big regulatory drive to do that. But the industry as a whole was really focused on the way to get smart meters on people's walls was to essentially pay customers to kind of give them incentives and give them vouchers, and really try and say, well, if we give you 50 quid, then will you have a smart meter? So customers say yes. And that kind of economically is quite logical, because it makes sense. You kind of give someone an incentive to do it. But in some of the work we've done with some of the energy providers, when you go and actually talk to customers directly, they say, look, if it's free, I'm quite happy to have the smart meter put on. But if I've got to stay at home on a Wednesday afternoon for 4 hours to get the thing installed, you can forget it.
Yep.
And then you look at how many of the energy companies offer evening and weekend appointments, and it's barely any. So they're spending a huge amount of money trying to incentivise people to take the smart meters, but actually they'd be much better to spend that money on improving the installation process, which would make people want to do it anyway, and then they wouldn't even have to pay them to do it. So we see quite a few examples like that, where this kind of inconvenient truth, I suppose, is raised that challenges the way that it's always been done in businesses. And often is because it's more of an emotional, behavioural thing that we've discovered with customers. And that helps to then shift the way providers are offering these kind of things, and actually helps them do it often in a more commercially efficient way, whilst giving a better customer experience as well.